Let's continue our focus on the condition of the Vaal River. Our reporter, Tseho Hachamwagi, is on a boat trying to get to the bottom of the contamination issue, and she joins me now. What have you been able to find out for us why it is in such an appalling state?
Well, good afternoon. Well, good morning once again, Jane. The reasons for this appalling state, really, we're not getting the full answers. But the issue is that the water pumps are actually not at all working in most of the area of Emfuleni. But joining me now is the spokesperson for the Department of Water and Sanitation, Sputnik Ratau. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Vaal River. And I keep insisting that this is a bubble bath of the Vaal. But just tell us, the SANDF was here at some point to try and clean up the situation in the Vaal. They have now withdrawn their services because of financial constraints. Is the department going to give them more finances and more money so they can actually come back and deal with this situation, or what is the plan going forward?
Good morning, Sehu, and thanks for your time. Yes, we are here. The SANDF has not necessarily gone off. But what is happening is that, as the MMC was indicating earlier, we have brought in ERVAT, which is a wastewater treatment works specialist utility of government that will then take over from where the SANDF left off. Because the SANDF, even though they've done a lot of work, but they don't have the necessary capacity that ERVAT has got. So that is what is happening now. So they are handing over to ERVAT so that ERVAT can continue with the work that they are specialized in. And therefore, that is what is happening. You're talking about whether we are going to give the SANDF more money than so that they can be able to do. You must remember that for us to be able to pay, we need to be invoiced for the work that has been done. That is, those are the processes of government, and we must verify those invoices. And once those are verified, then we can pay. That work has been ongoing, and we have paid the SANDF up to thus far 80 million rand for the work that they have done. You must remember that, as the MMC was saying as well, the total projected budget for this cleanup is 1.1 billion rand. But obviously that will come in tranches as the work progresses. So as the work progresses, whoever is doing part of that work will be able to say, this is what I have done. We look at whether we are happy with the work that has happened in the first place. We are happy with the figures that they are giving us, and that work gets paid. It is a national issue. That is why the Minister of Finance has spoken about it. That is why the President has spoken about it. And that is why we are working together with not just Emfuleni, by the way, but the whole district. Because you must remember that the wastewater treatment works that are impacting on the river are not just in Emfuleni, but within the district and along the Vaal River as such.
Now, I was here a few months ago, and Jane also mentioning that she was here as well. And I went into the communities and spoke to some of the residents of Emfuleni, and they spoke extensively about how, as I mentioned to the MMC, that the water actually comes up from in their houses. So it comes into their houses, and it's just sewage. It's pure sewage. And as a department, you have got the responsibility to give residents clean water, and for them not to live in that kind of squalor. Have you spoken to any of the residents within the area and just informed them about the plans that you have, and how are you going to try and fix it? Because if one of those people die, then what's going to happen? Because it's possible to get sick from so much waste.
In fact, I think if you were to go back again and look at some of those houses, those are areas where some of the work of the SANDF has gone into, to repair some of those houses, to make sure that the seepages are stopped in some of those major critical areas that were basically seeping sewage over time. And there are a number of houses that the SANDF did repair, and the situation has turned around. So therefore, there's a lot of work that has happened. But you must remember that as well. The major issue is about the malfunctioning wastewater treatment plants. There are a couple of them that have been brought to optimal operation, but that's not enough, because in the ultimate, it is about, if all of those wastewater treatment plants then operate optimally, then we can be able to make sure that the Sebokeng Regional Sewer Scheme is then able to operate optimally as well. And therefore, part of what ERVAT is doing, and it has already started even advertising some of those contracts that they are going to use in order to make sure that they are going to, that includes, by the way, what they call a jetting boat or something that will actually work towards unblocking those pipelines, those wastewater pipelines that are impacting on ultimately some of those seepages happening.
Just very briefly, Sputnik, has this actually started, the working and cleaning up of the Vaal River? Has it started?
You must remember that it's not starting now. It started from the time when the SANDF came on site. So those little efforts that have come over time is part of the larger project. So ultimately, the optimal operation of the wastewater treatment plants is the first and the major part of the cake that we must look at, because that will imply that less or rather wastewater that is sufficiently treated then gets to be delivered to the Sebokeng regional sewer scheme.
All right, thank you so much. I mean, we can clearly see that we're not quite sure if it has really started, because the situation seems to have gotten worse here in the Vaal. And this river is really just getting darker and darker as the day progresses here. But thank you so much to Sputnik Ratau for just giving us that update, saying that the process has already started. And we're really just waiting to see when this water will somehow be cleaner.